Recording in progress.
My goodness, it got so quiet in here all of a sudden.
I know, he's adorable. He is adorable. All right. Okay. He knows. He knows it's time to start the meeting. Good evening. We will call the meeting to order for Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. We would like to begin with a land acknowledgement. The federally recognized Muckleshoot Indian Tribe, the ancestral keepers of the land we are gathered on today. We thank them for their immense contributions of our state and local history, culture, economy, and identity as Washingtonians. Tonight, public participation, this Auburn City Council meeting scheduled for today will be held in person and virtually. Thank you. If you would all please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you to the Auburn Police Department Honor Guard. Sean, will you please call roll?
Deputy Mayor J. Rush.
I'm here.
Councilmember Baggett.
Excused?
Councilmember Baldwin.
Excused.
Councilmember Brown.
Here.
Councilmember Malenga.
Here.
Councilmember Rakes.
Here.
Councilmember Trot Manuel.
Here.
All right, we have, as you can probably tell by the size of the audience, we don't get it quite this full every week. But we do have a few honors and proclamations tonight, so I'm going to go over to the podium and ask that the Ronnie Beiersdorf family please join me there. And I believe we're showing the video first? Okay. Ronnie Beiersdorf is one of those amazing individuals who seem to be everywhere in the community. He volunteered with the city of Auburn, and he was part of Sons of Italy and so many other organizations, the White River Valley Museum.
We loved Ronnie Beiersdorf. He was on our board for many, many years, and he was a contributor. He really cared about his community. He loved his family so much, and he believed in people. He believed in place. He was such a big supporter of Auburn's community and its arts programming, its recreation programming, and of course the museum and farm here. He put so much work into that farm opening. He put so much work into raising money for our field trip programs. He was always there when we needed him. He was there with a creative idea. He was there with an infectious, incredible laugh, a laugh that filled up a whole room, a laugh that I can still hear to this day.
Ronnie was such a great leader, great community person. I always thought about the city, museum, all the other places that he was an integral part of. His leadership has helped the museum in so many ways, and we thank him for that.
Ronnie is a remarkable individual who touched our hearts and enriched our community in countless ways. His dedication to Auburn was unparalleled as he tirelessly worked on projects from revitalizing our local parks to organizing fundraising drives. He was a true role model, the embodiment of dedication. May we continue to draw strength from his example and carry forward his legacy of compassion, dedication, and community spirit.
And now, in his honor, we want to keep history alive for people and show people the power of maps. Ronnie believed that maps could teach us how places have changed over time. Actual geography of a place tells the history of a place and who's lived there before and what we can look to in the future. And that's why we created the Ronnie Beiersdorf map collection here at the museum. So now anyone, anywhere can search our map collection and see high-resolution images so that they can do research from anywhere in the world from the maps that we have here. We love Ronnie, we miss Ronnie, and he will always be in our hearts.
I am going to miss Ronnie so much because he was so much fun. He always asked, "How are you doing?" And I'm going to miss his voice dearly when he is calling out the names of the members of the Sons of Italy because he used his Italian accent. Ronnie was the best. Ronnie was one of a kind.
On behalf of the Parks, Arts, and Recreation Department, I just want to say my sincere condolences to the Beiersdorf family and everyone who knew him. He was probably our greatest ambassador in the city of Auburn about the great things that we're doing in our department, especially as it relates to the Mary Olson Farm, the White River Valley Museum, but actually everything that we're doing. Ronnie would often send me an email saying, "Hey, we had friends in from out of town, and we took them to a few of our parks," and I would brag about everything that you're doing in the city of Auburn. So I am going to so miss Ronnie and all that he's meant to the city.
You could see him just about anywhere in the community. And when you did, you always saw him with a smile on his face. He always had a kind word. One of my favorite memories of Ronnie was during one of our clean sweep projects, and I believe it was the Sons of Italy, and they were over at Lescove by the area for storage, and the Sons of Italy were inside, and they were painting all of these wood pieces. I think it was for the pergola for Lescove, where Big Daddy's used to be. And there's Ronnie sitting in his chair with that ever-present headband on, telling everybody inside how they should be doing the painting. And it was just perfect Ronnie. He knew exactly what needed to be done, and he wasn't afraid to tell people how to do it. I miss you, Ronnie. Thanks for always doing so many great things in this community and for showing us what it means to be a good person.
We will make sure that you have a copy of that video.
Thank you.
I love quotes, and I was looking to find some that reminded me of Ronnie, and I couldn't just find one. So if you don't mind, if you will allow me, I have three. No matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all. Integrity is everything. The most powerful leadership tool you have is your own personal example. John Wooden. And finally, stay humble, work hard, and be kind. I think that embodies Ronnie maybe more than anything.
It sure does.
And I do have a proclamation that I would like to read this evening. Whereas Ronald H. Beiersdorf was born in Portland, Oregon on July 9th, 1943, to Rudolph in Virginia, and passed away peacefully on May 9th, 2023. Whereas Ronnie proudly served his country in the United States Army from 1962 to 1964, and was an active 52-year member of the Sons and Daughters of Italy, where he served as state orator. And whereas Ronnie was remembered for bettering our community, he graced the city of Auburn with his service on several boards and commissions, serving for 8 years as a founding member of the Salary Commission and for 14 years on the White River Valley Museum Board and a founding member of the Auburn Bocce Ball Club. Whereas Ronnie loved history and was an avid map guy and appreciated how much a person can learn about history from them, the White River Valley Museum staff has made high-resolution images of their entire map collection available online to assist historians, researchers, and the cartographically curious. In his honor, the images will henceforth be known as the Ronnie Beiersdorf Memorial Map Collection. Whereas Ronnie was a lover of all aspects of history, was extremely passionate about bluegrass and Americana music, had a fascination with hobo culture, collected knives, train ephemera, I always get that wrong, ephemera, maps, and all kinds of cool stuff. He always knew where to get good deals on fresh fish or sopressata. Loved a good old vine Zinfandel, and was an advocate for people of all backgrounds. And whereas Ronnie has earned the respect and admiration of our residents because of his knowledge, experience, wisdom, and community spirit. And whereas we remember and honor this very humble and gentle man as someone who cared deeply about his family and community and dedicated his life to the service of others. Now, therefore, I, Nancy Backus, Mayor of the City of Auburn, do hereby proclaim the designation of September 5th, 2023 as Ronald H. Beiersdorf Day of Remembrance, and deem it an honor to extend the Beiersdorf family our sincere appreciation for his service and pay special tribute to this very special pioneer of Auburn, dated this 5th day of September, 2023.
Thank you, Mayor Backus and council members and everybody. Thanks to everyone for coming. The only thing that you missed was you forgot to put in fashion icon.
I did.
I don't, yeah, fashion icon. No, I've,
Yes.
yeah.
No, and the headbands.
But it's
I
hard to
forgot
see because
mention
he's
the
always
headbands.
camouflaged, so
That's
it's tough. Yeah. Now, thank you so much. I can't believe we're coming up on 4 months since my dad's been gone, and it came and went so quickly. And he set a pretty high bar for myself, my sisters, and his grandkids here to follow up on. But you know, the fact of the matter is, my dad loved this community, and it was the day he retired, this community became the forefront of everything, you know, that he did outside of us. And quite frankly, I think the things he did was because of the 5 grandchildren that are here tonight to make the community a better place. So thank you so much, and hopefully you guys all have a nice little memory of my dad because he was something special. So thank you.
Thank you. And I don't have an old vine Zen, but I do have one of my favorite Zens, and I hope you will enjoy it and toast Ronnie.
We sure will. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Go ahead and leave, okay? And I hate to run. My daughter's got a soccer game.
No, go to the soccer game, for heaven's sakes. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you for sharing Ronnie with us for so many years. And for those of you who are here that had a great loss, I am so sorry, and I hope that the memories of Ronnie will help comfort you as you continue to mourn. Good luck with the soccer game.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Right. Next, we have Constitution Week, and I believe we have Hilda Maryhugh here, the Lakota National Daughters of the American Revolution chapter, to accept the proclamation. Whereas September 17th, 2023 marks the 236th anniversary of the signing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention in 1787. And whereas in 1955, the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution petitioned Congress with a resolution. This week of observance for the foundation of the American form of government was signed into law by President Dwight D. Eisenhower on August 2nd, 1956. George W. Bush officially declared the inception of Constitution Week in 2002. And whereas patriotic celebrations are held to commemorate and emphasize the responsibility of residents for protecting and defending the Constitution, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, I, Nancy Backus, Mayor of the City of Auburn, do hereby proclaim the designation of September 17th through the 23rd, 2023, as Constitution Week in the City of Auburn, and ask residents to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. Dated this 5th day of September, 2023. Hilda, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, I will. Thank you. What the Constitution means to me. It gives you citizens, if foreign born, on complying with liberal naturalization laws. My Swedish father came to America in 1928. He worked hard to give his children a good education. He wanted to become a citizen for his children to be proud of him. After 50 years in this country, my father's friend, Helen Johnson, a retired registered surgical nurse, tutored him to become a citizen. He kept it a secret and did not tell us what he was doing. I have all of my father's papers, so I can tell you what he went through. He paid a $5 fee for the application. He met with an agent and was asked, "Why did you come to the United States?" "My sister lives here and she is happy." "Give me 4 reasons why you wish to become a citizen." 1, because I love the country. 2, have children born here. 4 children. 3, want to be proud to be a citizen like they are. 4, I want to be able to vote. In 1978, a letter from Immigration and Naturalization Service in Seattle requested him to be fingerprinted. Send 3 unglazed pictures of himself, pay a $25 filing fee petition with the court, and have to give his alienation number. He had to know the history and form of government of the United States and be familiar with the Constitution. He was sent a workbook with 21 lessons and 156 questions, and 6 tests to be sent to Olympia. My father missed 15 questions on the test. He then received a certificate of merit after this test was graded. I went with my father to Seattle when he became a citizen. He had to give the oath of allegiance and to renounce his country. It was really bothered him to do this because he didn't want to give up his country. I was so proud of him, and he fulfilled his lifelong dream. Do you think you could pass the United States citizen test? So I thank you for the proclamation and the Daughters of the American Revolution.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, excuse me, is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Mayor's Proclamation. Whereas September is known around the United States as National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month and is intended to help promote awareness surrounding each of the suicide prevention resources available to us and our community. The simple goal is to learn how to help those around us and how to talk about suicide without increasing the risk of harm. And whereas suicide rates are continuing to increase, the overall suicide rate in the United States has increased by 31% over the years, and in Washington State, our suicide rate is 15.3%, with over 1,229 deaths this year. Whereas suicidal thoughts can affect anyone regardless of age, gender, race, orientation, income level, religion, or background. 10.7 million people have thought about suicide, 3.3 million have made a plan, and 1.4 million have attempted suicide. And whereas according to the CDC, someone dies by suicide every 11 minutes, and suicide is the second leading cause of death for people ages 10 through 34, and the fourth leading cause of death for people 35 through 54. And whereas the City of Auburn is no different than any other community in the country, but we wish to publicly state and place our full support behind local educators, mental health professionals, athletic coaches, PAC leaders, police officers, and parents as partners in supporting our community and simply being available and willing to help. Whereas local organizations like Suicide Prevention Services and national organizations like the National Alliance on Mental Illness are in the front lines of a battle that many still refuse to discuss in public, as suicide and mental illness remain too difficult of a topic to speak on. And whereas every member of our community should understand that throughout struggles, we all need the occasional reminder that we are all silently fighting our own battles. Now, therefore, I, Nancy Backus, Mayor of the City of Auburn, do hereby proclaim September 2023 as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in the City of Auburn. And I encourage all residents to reach out if they feel someone is struggling. A simple phone call, message, handshake, or hug can go a long way towards helping someone realize that suicide is not the answer. Dated this 5th day of September 2023. And finally, National Senior Center Month. Is Rocky here? Rocky is here. Hello, Rocky. Mayor's Proclamation. Whereas aging residents are significant members of our society, investing their wisdom and experience to help enrich and strengthen our community. And whereas the Auburn Senior Activity Center has acted as a catalyst for mobilizing the creativity, energy, vitality, and commitment of the older residents of Auburn. And whereas throughout the wide array of services, programs, and activities, senior centers empower older residents of Auburn to contribute to their own health and well-being of their fellow residents of all ages. And whereas the Senior Center in Auburn affirms the dignity, self-worth, and independence of older persons by facilitating their decisions and actions, tapping their experiences, skills, and knowledge, and enabling their continued contributions to the community. And now, therefore, I, Nancy Backus, Mayor of the City of Auburn, do hereby proclaim September 2023 as National Senior Center Month in the City of Auburn and urge residents to recognize the special contributions of the Senior Center participants and the special efforts of the staff and volunteers who work every day to enhance the well-being of the older residents of our community. Dated this 5th day of September 2023. Rocky, I'll give that to you. Do you have any words that you would like to share?
I'll share a few things. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for all the support the council gives the Senior Center. I personally think we have the best Senior Center in the entire state of Washington. We get numerous people from all around the Puget Sound area coming, participating in all kinds of different trips and activities as far as north as Shoreline and as far south as Lakewood, going on hiking trips, walks. We have a big wellness fair this year. Many of the vendors, or this month on September 28th, many of the vendors tell us it's the best fair they attend all year. So, and thank you to all the volunteers. We have 100 plus volunteers that contribute 10,000 plus hours a year, doing things as far as delivering meals, helping in the kitchen, the respite program, serving coffee, welcoming people. So, like I like to say, we have something for everyone. So, if you know somebody a senior that might be lonely, encourage them to come to the senior center, and they'll have a great time. So, thank you.
Thank you. Chief, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, council members, and members of the community. I just want to welcome everybody who is attending tonight. This public ceremony is intended to present the newest members of our leadership team to the community. It is also a way to publicly recognize the dedication of these officers to their family, community, and profession. Brandon, Fernando, come on up. As you can tell, they love the attention. Fernando. I wanted to tell you a little bit about these officers. Fernando Cordova began his career with the Auburn Police Department on January 9th, 2015. His time with the department has been primarily served in the Patrol Division, where he's been a member of the Peer Support Team, Crime Scene Response Team, and was also designated as an officer in charge. Sergeant Cordova has held multiple specialties as well, to include Field Training Officer, Defensive Tactics Instructor, and Hostage Negotiator. Sergeant Cordova was recognized as Officer of the Year for 3 consecutive years while on patrol, and has also received multiple life-saving awards. Additionally, he was awarded the Citizen Commendation from the City of Kent for diffusing and de-escalating an argument between 2 men at a sports field occupied by children and families while he was off duty, where one of the men was armed and pulled out a firearm. As much as it pains me to say, he is also a proud graduate of the University of Washington. Go Dogs. Commander Brandon Skeen started his career with the Auburn Police Department on November 3rd, 2008. Before joining the department, he was on active duty in the United States Army for 4.5 years, serving as a combat medic and completing 1 deployment to Iraq in 2007. Brandon has served as a patrol officer, field training officer, an Auburn Police Guild Executive Board member, and was recognized as a Master Police Officer. Brandon was also a member of the Valley SWAT team, serving as an operator, assistant team leader, and eventually team leader. In August of 2018, Brandon was promoted to the rank of sergeant and assigned to the patrol division, responsible for one of our swing shift patrol crews. He served in that capacity until December 2021, when he was reassigned to the Special Investigations Unit. Brandon holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Southern New Hampshire University. Next thing I'm going to do is the oath of honor to both. So if you would stand over here and both of you raise your right hands and just repeat after me. Today I pledge my commitment to the Auburn Police Department and the City of Auburn. On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I value leadership, and I accept the tremendous responsibility that comes with that privilege. I will always demonstrate the courage to hold myself and others accountable. I will uphold the Constitution of the United States and the state of Washington, as well as the mission, the guiding principles, and the history of the Auburn Police Department, to the best of my ability, so help me God. The next portion of our ceremony is called the pinning of the badge. The tradition of badge pinning is a significant one. It is one of the traditions where we visibly and clearly bring a loved one up to publicly demonstrate their support for their law enforcement officer. This support is essential as our officers can't do this difficult job without strong support from family and friends. The badge itself represents the authority granted by our community to law enforcement officers. It is in the shape of a shield, signifying our core responsibility to protect those who cannot protect themselves. So I'm going to start with Sergeant Cordova, and I'm going to call up his wife, Michelle, and their children. Go front and center. For Commander Skeen, I'm going to call up his wife, Ashley, and their children. Move it back to the front. So, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, council members, and community, I want to present our newest leaders in the City of Auburn Police Department.
We are going to take a short break for photos. We will go into recess for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
I know, I loved it. You said it almost convincingly, too.
I could hear the disdain in your voice.
Big smile.
I'll stand right here in front.
I'm wearing my Susie. How you doing?
Oh, I see.
Thankfully, it's here.
I'm gonna let me take some photos. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I need to hear more about it.
Good job.
Pretty cool. See those kids. It reminds you of
I know he's been, but to be stepping up.
It's crazy. I know, yeah, they really felt like it, didn't it? I've gotten that way in the labor movement. You have all these people that are like kids as young leading. It's pretty cool.
That's impressive. And it's always nice to see their families come out.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times they we'd stop doing this.
That's right.
Yeah. And she did. He lives in
Oh, okay. We're sure glad they're here.
Worked out great for us. After the year, yeah, with our EPA, so yeah, he's worked his tail off. So.
Yeah. I imagine he would be a hot catch from anybody. Driving with the kids.
And Brandon's been one of the team leaders for the Valley SWAT team. You know, when you're talking 7 agencies, there's only, I think, 3 team leaders on the whole team. So, yeah, so that was that. Because now he has to come on because we don't have. He'll stay on as a commander, but he won't do all the fun stuff.
Well, he came up and shook hands with us up there. He's a guy that understands leadership.
Yeah.
Anyway, good to see you. Thank you.
Oh, that would be nice. She's on the phone.
Thank you, everyone. You're welcome to stay for the council meeting, by the way. Oh, I see how it works. Bye. Thank you, guys. All right, we will call the meeting back to order. Sean, do we have any agenda modifications?
Yes, Your Honor. Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, Hispanic Awareness Month, and National Recovery Month proclamations were removed from the agenda.
Thank you. And they will be placed on the next council agenda. All right, we will move to audience participation. This is the place on the agenda where the public is invited to speak to the City Council on any issue. The public can participate in person or submit written comments in advance. Participants can submit written comments via mail, fax, or email. All written comments must be received prior to 5 p.m. on the day of the scheduled meeting and must be 350 words or less. Please mail written comments to City of Auburn, attention John Campbell, City Clerk, 25 West Main Street, Auburn, Washington, 98001. Please fax written comments to attention Sean Campbell, City Clerk, at 253-804-3116, or email written comments to publiccomment@auburnwa.gov. If an individual requires an accommodation to allow for remote oral comment because of a difficulty attending a meeting of the governing body, the city requests notice of the need for accommodation by 5 p.m. on the day of the scheduled meeting. Participants can request an accommodation to be able to provide remote oral comment by contacting the city clerk's office in person, by phone at 253-931-3039, or email to publiccomment@auburnwa.gov. Sean, do we have any written public comment or anyone wanting to provide remote public comment?
No, Your Honor, we do not.
All right. I will open it up to public comment for anyone in the room. Is there anyone who would like to provide public comment this evening? Is there anyone that would like to provide public comment? All right, we will move on. We have no correspondence for council review this evening, so we will move to council ad hoc committee reports. Council ad hoc committee chairs may report on the status of their ad hoc council committee's progress on assigned tasks and may give their recommendation to the city council, if any. First is the Finance Ad Hoc Committee, which is chaired by Councilmember Baldwin, and the other member is Councilmember Baggett, both of whom have been excused this evening. So Deputy Mayor Jay Raj will provide the Finance Ad Hoc Committee report.
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of the Finance Committee, the Ad Hoc Finance Committee consists of Councilmember Robert Baggett and Councilmember
Cheryl, or
no,
Kate Baldwin.
Kate Baldwin. I always forget her name. Reviewed 2 sets of claim vouchers for those dated August 21st, 2023. They reviewed 1 page of claims vouchers representing 1 electronic fund transfer for the total of $1,905.5. For those dated August 30th, 2023, they reviewed 39 pages of claims vouchers, including 2 electronic fund transfers and 3 wire transfers, for a total approximately $5.38 million. The committee also reviewed 1 set of payroll vouchers for the period covering August 17th, 2023 to August 30th, 2023, totaling approximately $3.09 million. All questions by the committee for the Finance Department were answered to the committee's satisfaction, and upon completion of their review, the committee recommends the council approve the vouchers. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All right, Council Rules of Procedure, chaired by Councilmember Rakes.
Thank you, Mayor. The City Council reviews the rules and procedures periodically and makes updates as needed. In July 2023, the Council created an ad hoc committee on council rules and procedures. The ad hoc committee consisted of myself, Deputy Mayor James J. Raj, and Councilmember Larry Brown. We met on July 13th, July 21st, and August 15th to review and discuss amendments to the rules. It was brought to the last study session with changes that the ad hoc committee recommended for discussion and change. And it was voted on and brought to the last council member. It was voted on and moved to move forward with resolution 5735 for a vote today.
Councilmember Rakes, I just want to correct you. There were no votes taken at the study session.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I read
That's
that wrong.
really important that we
Okay.
make sure that we're not taking action in a
Okay.
study session. All right.
Gotcha on that one.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so we'll talk about that later on in the agenda.
Yes, it is
Yes.
on the agenda for consideration tonight.
Yes. Okay.
All right, we will move to the consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered by the City Council to be routine and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Is there a motion? Deputy Mayor Jayraj.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember Trout Manuel.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Jayraj.
Thank you, Mayor. The consent agenda for this evening consists of minutes of August 21st, 2023 City Council meeting, minutes of August 28th, 2023 study session meeting, claims and payroll vouchers as described by me and recommended by the Finance Committee. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Council, do you have any questions or comments or a desire to remove any of the items for separate consideration? All those in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Consent agenda passes. We have no unfinished business and no new business that I have been made aware of. We will move to ordinances. Ordinance number 6913, an ordinance granting Mox Networks LLC, a Delaware company, a franchise for dark fiber infrastructure. Is there a motion? Councilmember Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to move the adoption of ordinance number 6913.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember Rakes.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. This ordinance would allow Mox Network LLC to install facilities in the public right-of-way of West Valley Highway within the city limits and provides service for wholesale telecommunication infrastructure of dark fiber optic cable and telecommunications capacity to its customers located outside of the city limits. Mox does not intend to provide services to any residents or businesses inside the city limits.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from council? All those in favor of ordinance number 6913, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Ordinance number 6913 passes. Resolutions. Resolution number 5735, a resolution amending the City Council Rules of Procedure. Is there a motion? Councilmember Rakes.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 5735.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember Brown.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to second that motion.
Thank you. Councilmember Rakes.
I think I covered it previously in my statements about resolution 5735 about amending the City Council Rules and Procedures that is done once a year.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Councilmember Trout Manuel.
Yes, I have a question. At the ad hoc, at our study session, we went over this, and I never heard anything about if there was anyone that submitted any changes or anything like that. And if I wanted to know if there was, and I would like to know what the discussion was and what the why it wasn't brought to us to our attention.
I did mention.
Councilmember Rakes.
Oh, sorry. I did mention in the meeting that we did receive one correspondence. The ad hoc committee talked about it, and nobody in the ad hoc committee wanted to move forward with it. And so we, when we did the rules and procedures for discussion, we put everything on there that we wanted to move forward with.
Okay, I don't recall.
Councilmember Trout Manuel.
I apologize. I don't recall it being mentioned, and I did speak to another council member, and he also said he does not recall. And I wanted to see if we could bring this back to council at another study session. And also, there was another person missing at our last council meeting, and I know that that person always asks questions. And so I would like to be fair with everybody to see if we could bring this back one more time and be able to ask some more questions.
So, Councilmember Trout Manuel, are you asking to table the motion
Yes, I am.
to a date specific?
Even our next following council study session.
So you would need to make a motion.
Okay. I would like to make a motion on tabling Resolution 5735 for the next study council meeting.
For the next study session or council meeting?
Study session meeting.
And a motion to table does need a second, correct? Is there a motion, is there a second to that motion? Councilmember Trout Manuel, I do not see a second, therefore your motion to table does not pass.
I figured it would be. Thank you.
Right. Councilmember Rakes.
I need to make a motion to move to amend the council rules and procedures.
Are you making that motion?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sorry.
You've made a motion to make an amendment.
Yes.
Would you like to say what that amendment is?
Yes. There was a couple areas on the special focus area that need to be added. Under community wellness, we need to add housing policy. Under public works and community development, we need to add land use and development, airport, park development, and economic development.
And Councilmember Rakes, I do believe land use and development is there. It's airport, park development, and economic development that were omitted.
Yes.
Is there a second? Deputy Mayor Jayraj.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll second it.
Thank you. Councilmember Rakes, would you like to speak to your motion to amend?
Yes, these are the new special focus areas where we took in the recommendations of the directors to kind of put them in more specific things, and when it got typed out, we had just missed adding a few of those back in.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from council on the motion to amend to add housing policy to community wellness and airport, park development, and economic development to public works and community development? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to amend resolution number 5735 with those adds to the special focus areas, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion to amend passes. Now we're back to the original motion. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 5735, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion passes 4-1. All right, we will now move to mayor and council reports. At this time, the mayor and city council may report on significant items associated with their appointed positions on federal, state, regional, and local organizations. We will begin with Deputy Mayor Jayraj.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have any report this evening.
Thank you. Councilmember Brown.
No report.
Thank you. Councilmember Trout Manuel.
Find it.
Okay. I have a little report.
Microphone, yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. On August 29th, we met with our state auditors, and they covered over the importance of the fiscal 2022 audit and the reason why they do it, and they want to make sure that council understood the process. And we will be invited to a later meeting to hear the outcome. On August 20th, I, with other council members, went to the White River Valley Museum. It was very educating, and with old and new displays from other countries. I would like to see and know why there isn't more talk about the immigrants from Mexico that came to this valley. Today, I attended the Sound City Association Public Health Briefing with Seattle-King County Director Dr. Fasa for a quarterly briefing on the state of public health in King County. He talked about three major issues. One is about the air quality in our state and how important it is for people to stay inside when the air is very bad. And he talked about there are fan kits that people can get. They're special for putting on the windows with filters, and they can filter out and bring in clean air into their house. I know that our city took part on receiving some of those fans, and our Blue Ribbon Committee, Pat Bailey, director, distributes some of those to our local community members. He also talked about a program called Ready, Set, Go. This program is about making sure that you have a kit ready to leave when they have to evacuate. He also says they're working really hard with the fire department and our police department to make sure that they have the proper and up-to-date escape routes to be able to just get ready and go. The set means that you just pick up all your stuff and you just leave. Take off and don't stay around. Make sure that you take your, have a box ready with emergency materials, money, medicine, and copies of important papers, food, water, because he talked about the importance that what happened in Hawaii, how quickly that fire took off and burned that whole city, and it could happen here as well. The go means go now. Don't wait, don't stick around, just go and have a plan ahead to get out of the city. He talked about substance disorder. He talked about the cheap fentanyl and opium mix that is killing 5 people a day, per day. No matter the zip codes, age, social life, it doesn't matter. This drug is killing. He said we're going to see an eye-opening to the data recorded breaking every year if we don't do something, if we don't do more than what we're doing now. He talked about the age group is 14 to 19 years of age, all walk of life. He talked about the Drug Czar, a program that deals with students getting off drug and also getting their high school diploma, staying in school. He said that a person from Washington, the White House and our local Congress members went to visit the program and to hear stories from the students that are taking part in this. And they heard their stories, and they're taking this back to Washington, D.C. They were very impressed with what they saw. He talked about the Narcan cost. They're working hard to reduce the price so people can afford it. They're getting it into all the schools and colleges so those students to have to save someone's life. He said we need more long-term resources for the city and the state. He also talked about the general funds, the shortfalls that has come down affecting public health clinics in the region, mainly South King County. It's not good. There's no new federal funds coming our way due to the general funds fallout this year. He talked about how many people is going to be affected if this happened. It's going to hurt 75,000 patients plus 220,000 duplicate visits that use the public health department. He said the deadline will be October 5th, and we will know which centers or public healths are going to be closed down. There were 2 questions, and one of them had to do with what kind of information are we giving out to the students at school. He talked about there's a packet, and the school district has this packet, and it should be distributed in multiple languages so that they have it to, that we don't have to reinvent the city. They asked him, what can we as government officials do? He said for us to make sure that we talk to our school districts and make sure that they have parent nights of training about the drug use and what to do and how to help their students to stay safe. That's what we as leaders can do. Even as young as an elementary school, they're talking about training those youth also. This is a serious issue, and we all need to heed the information. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rakes.
No report tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Malinga.
Thank you, Your Honor. On the 19th of September, I visited the Swedish Heritage Day at the Neely Mansion. And then on the 30th of September, I visited the White River Valley Museum for a tour. At both events, they were very informative. I learned about the history and culture here in Auburn, and I definitely encourage others to visit both of these locations to learn about our heritage here in our community. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. A few items, excuse me. On Monday, August 21st, as part of the South King sub-area briefing for Sound Transit, we discussed the fare strategy, as currently Sound Transit has about maybe a 40 to 50% adherence to fares on light rail and sounder and buses. So we have, as part of Sound Transit, have approved more fare ambassadors who will go around and ensure that those riding are paid guests on the system. I can attest to that, as my daughter and I went to the Rain game on Sunday. We were asked to show our proof of paid fare. Very, very polite in their approach, and look to hear more about what we are going to do as a policy for fare recovery. On Wednesday the 23rd, at our regular SCORE board meeting, when the statistics were provided for the month of July, the average daily population for the entirety of the member cities of SCORE, and remember there are 6, was 203. The average daily population for Auburn was 100 of that 203. So almost half of the ADP is assigned to the city of Auburn, and that's because the enhanced patrols are proving to work very well. I want to say a special thank you to our anti-homelessness team, as well as our Auburn police officers, for their diligence in ensuring that those who should be in jail have an opportunity to be in jail. On Friday the 25th, as did other members of the council, I attended the second annual Multicultural Holiday Festival, and a special thanks to our community health officer, Pat Bailey, as well as the MC for the day, Pastor Ofa Lange. And on Saturday the 26th at 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning, I gave the opening welcome for the Employment Security Department multiple state agency fundraiser, as they raised funds for some of our local charities, including the Auburn Food Bank, and had a lot of fun in a day-long softball tournament. On Monday the 28th, as the vice chair of Greater Seattle Partners, I attended our regular board meeting to talk about the capital campaign that will be forthcoming at the beginning of the year, 2024, to ensure that the Greater Seattle region, which includes Tacoma, Snohomish County, and King County, and the city of Auburn is a member, that we are doing all we can to attract and retain businesses with family wage jobs to this area. In fact, one of the special focuses that's going to be afforded the city of Auburn is around manufacturing and other jobs, so I'm really looking forward to that. On the 29th, I attended Catherine Hansen's Celebration of Life. Catherine was a longtime City of Auburn resident, and she passed away at the age of 102. The Celebration of Life was very well attended, as everyone wanted to honor her and her great contributions to this community. And then on Wednesday, the 30th, I met with Councilmember Kathy Hogarty of Tukwila, who I am replacing on the Association of Washington Cities board as a representative for District 13. And we toured her city so I had an opportunity to see all of the great affordable housing work that's being done in that community. It is truly inspirational, and I look forward to doing more work through SKIP on our affordable housing in the city of Auburn. I do not believe we have any need for a closed or executive session tonight. Therefore, we are adjourned.
Thank you, Mayor.